What's going on, guys, and welcome to Beta Memoirs. It has been a while since I've been on here. I have not let up to to let you guys know. I have been on it primarily since I left off back in July. I think it was the last video I did. Time has been going well, nonetheless. Today, I actually wanted to get into where we're at. We're in the last week of the year, so everything is shut down on Friday for the new year. With that being said, I wanted to take a look at the charts. The market is just opened up. It is 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The market's opened up down, but they're actually pushed right back up. So, needless to say, that's a good sign because I am holding shares currently in Tesla, and I know there's a couple Planet 13 and also the very good company as well. So that's what I'm sitting out with those. Planet 13 and the very good company, very good butcher's company are two particular stocks that I am holding for longer term swings. But again, I wanted to start this off on the futures here. As we can see, it's already pushed back up, a gap down, and we're already back up. So that being said, what am I looking at this week? This week, sorry for the hot mess. This week, I always have Tesla in the pipeline typically. But with that being said, here, let me pull this up real quick. Let me share my screen. Can I also add that? I guess not. Let's see what we got here. I got Tesla, Airbnb, BYND, Facebook, and CRM this week. I've already gone over a lot of the charts, so I try to cram everything in together. With a gap down and then push back up, I'm assuming this week I'm looking for Tesla to retest that 700 getting towards the end of the year with inclusion to the S&P 500. I feel like some institutions are still buying before the end of the year. I know a lot of people are trying to flush out for the end of the year, so I don't know how much actual selling we're going to see. I know we're going to get a delayed Christmas rally here, I believe. That's what I am projecting. Obviously, you have to take it day by day. That can completely change overnight. But as of right now, Tesla, I'm thinking we're going to actually probably open up over 680 tomorrow and then try to retest that 700 tomorrow. At that point, I will, debating on whether or not I will actually exit a good portion of my position. I think going into the next quarter with Tesla, I think they're going to have some good numbers going into it. So I think we might get another run, maybe to 8 or even 1,000. I'm probably thinking more realistically, maybe 8 for the next quarter. So I am holding that position. I've been in this position since about, I want to say it was about 420 when I entered this position. I entered this position way back here. Around that 406, I started during this whole consolidation mark. I was adding a lot through this whole consolidation, and then it broke out. I was waiting for that breakout. It took forever. Again, I think we continue. It's been retesting this 695. So I think once we break that, then we're going to run for 8 is my belief. And I think in the next quarter, I think you might see another email drop from old Elon for that to happen. Also, I've been playing a lot of Airbnb as well. I know this is a new IPO. A lot of people don't like to play IPOs. I don't mind it if I like the movement on it. I have liked a lot of the movement on Airbnb. I actually had shares at the 147 mark. It dipped down. I added a little bit more down here. Once it started basing out a little bit, then I sold up on the pop. It is coming back down. I want to start adding in this position again. That 150 mark has been a solid mark. It took a while for Airbnb. As you can see here, it tested it twice that around that 150 mark and got rejected. So I'm looking forward to act as a support here at the 150 mark. You also got the 200 moving average here, which is something I'm really watching as well. So I might take probably half a position here. Then if we continue to sell back down to the 121, then I'll load the boat again down here at 121. That's what I'm looking for. Airbnb. Apple has still been hot lately. I know with the whole Apple car stuff, it's been on fire lately. Consolidation. A lot of these stocks are consolidating right now. I've really just been kind of sitting back to see what happens. I've almost sold out of my Tesla position a couple different times. But with the bounce back last week, and my theory with Tesla still holds pretty solid. So, and with the current market and the stimulus checks and all that, I think we're ultimately going to see a bigger, harder run to the upside as opposed to the downside. So that's my theory on that. As far as Facebook, I know there's a lot going on with Facebook in the news, but it is starting to consolidate here. So this is something I'm watching this week, depending on what the market does. It looks like we have a nice support here at the 266 mark here. So I do have this as a zone right now. I'm kind of waiting to see what it does here. But more than likely, I think if it continues to hold here, depending on how we open tomorrow, I might start building a position here in Facebook. Facebook is a great company. Their balance sheet's awesome. So when it comes to like a beta stock, Facebook has always been a big one for me. I like beta stock when it starts building up, and I have a lot of belief in this company. So I'll add heavier, typically on the companies I do trust in. So again, if Facebook holds up, this is another stock I'll be watching this week. I'll start adding or building out a position here, and then if by chance it sells off, I'll probably add here down at the 260 mark again. TDOC is a big one. I've actually been watching TDOC a couple different times. I've made a couple good plays out of this previously before. It does play a nice range here. One thing I know for those people who follow ARK Invest with Kathy Wood, I know they've been building a huge position on TDOC. And so for me, I've really been looking at trying to find, trying to build a position out myself. As you can see, it ran up. I haven't taken a position. I am looking around this 190 mark. I want to start, just below the 190 mark. I want to start adding or building a position in TDOC. When TDOC runs, it runs a lot. And I know, especially with the new virus strand that's out, I can see this building back up and going for a big run. I don't even know what the high is for this 253. I think ultimately, TDOC could really explode. I mean, even if it hits 253, that would be a huge move. Again, I'm trying to watch and see. I want it down here before I even take a position. A lot of the different stocks currently right now are just really bad positions. So, I mean, this week, I'm hoping for a little bit more sell so that way I can get a nice entry in a lot of these. Cost is actually a perfect one. It's imbalancing here. Sadly, I have not taken a position, although I've been watching it. If by any chance it dips back down into the zone or comes close to this zone, I will probably take a position on cost as well. Now, typically what I play, I do play commons a lot. As of late, I've been playing a lot of commons. So I'll typically buy shares. If it's at a good base, if it hits a good support, I'll typically load the boat pretty heavy at that base. And then sometimes I'll take option plays. So I'll take leaps if it hits those base. Sometimes it just depends on the stock. If I trust the stock, like Tesla is a good example because I trust Tesla, and because I believe in the company. So if it comes to a certain level, I'll typically load the boat. I'll typically go heavy in shares and heavy in leaps, just depending on the movement. I also watch a lot of price action too. So I just don't let it hit it and then buy when it hits the zone. I try to let it stabilize a little bit before I try to jump into anything, because patience is a virtue in this game. But nonetheless, cost is looking. I like cost. I don't play it very often, but I know when it does run, it runs fairly well. So cost is another one of those ones I'm watching this week. CRM, also a big one. It started to explode. I did take a position down here. I was in the leap, and in commons, I did end up selling up here at the 229 mark. I'm looking forward to travel back down to the 220 mark for another position. I know Amazon is a big one here. A lot of people love Amazon for Christmas. I've even been watching it multiple times. Amazon has just been extremely tricky. Any kind of e-commerce right now, it's just been really bad. So if I do look at Amazon, it would look possibly around that 3091 mark. Aside from that, I am really not touching Amazon, only because I know it has these whipsaw. It whipsaws a lot, and it chews up, especially if you are taking any kind of options positions. So I am very careful with Amazon. I typically will wait till it hits a solid base before I even attempt to take any kind of option play on that. Also this week, I did take a position on BYND. I love BYND. The company itself promotes its products really well, and now that it's got a stake in McDonald's, I think is what's ultimately what's really driving this. And I did take a small position at the 136 mark. 136 mark. I took a pretty significant chunk of shares. I'm hoping it actually comes back down and dips back into the zone. One thing I've noticed about BYND is that it plays ranges really well, and then the next thing you know, it's typically almost, you can tell that it looks like someone's almost building a position, and then before you know it, it's back up at 200. It runs a good amount. So whenever it starts consolidating like this, I always try to take a position, and always find it. I typically play shares. I originally used to play a lot of options on this particular stock. This particular stock, I think, it used to be good when options first came out, but the premium on the stock, or the theta, I should say, burns quick when in options. So I don't really play options much with this anymore. If I do, it's going to be like in this particular zone, and it will be leaps. I don't like to hold weeklies on this because that premium burn is really bad on this particular stock. So I don't really mess with that too much. Let me see what other, I got Facebook. I think I went over everything. Tesla, Airbnb, BYND, Facebook, and CRM. Those are my primary focuses for this week. A lot of the other stocks, let's see, like Shop, a lot of everything's just in a bad position. It looks like it's getting ready to sell off. I'm kind of just being patient with this. QQQ is setting up, it looks like, for a big move, although it looks like it's already hit demand. So we might actually get another pullback to 305. The futures itself open up down. Now it popped back up. Now it's selling off again. So that's always news is highly driving the market right now. So I've just been really patient on what's going on with everything. But again, I always play Tesla. Tesla's always good. It's always good for a quick sell-off and then normally a pop. And it's been, when it gains momentum, it typically has that momentum for a month or two on end before it starts to sell off for about a month. That's why I've typically found the pattern for Tesla is don't mess with it when it's selling off. Just let it do its thing and then hit the floor and start consolidating, and then buy when it comes back up. So ultimately, I'll be watching this. I'll actually probably put a stop if Tesla can get back over that 680 mark, which I'm pretty sure it's going to, and I think it's going to try to retest the 7. If it doesn't break 7, then I could see a strong sell-off on Tesla going into the next quarterly earnings. And I think at that point, Tesla will run again and go for 8 at that point. But I do see that before then, before next month, I could see us attempting to try to retest that 7, see if we break. If not, my stop will be tight on that 7 mark, the 700 mark, and I will sell a good majority of my position at that point. And again, Airbnb. We'll see. I'm watching that 150 mark. Take a small position. Again, if it sells off, I'll re-add here again at about the 121 mark, 122 mark, and build that position out again. I do like Airbnb. I think once we recover, once the economy, this whole virus strand, this new virus strand, the fears and stuff go away with that, I think Airbnb will really start to run. I think it would see that 200, 250 mark, if not more. I think Airbnb's got it in the tank, especially if we start recovering well. So that's pretty much what I got. Again, if you guys have any questions, remember also that none of this is financial advice. Be forewarned, straight out the gates. This is just for purely entertainment purposes only. So again, thank you everybody. And until next time, I will see you guys later.